Hold on tight. Think you know the truth about hypnosis? Well, if the person who taught you hypnosis said that James Braid coined the term hypnosis, they were wrong. And perhaps you should come and study the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp at ultimatehypnosiscourse.com, where we tell you the truth backed by all the latest evidence. Although in this case, the evidence goes back to 1819. James Braid did not coin the term hypnosis. Keep watching. This is an image of a gentleman called James Braid, who was a Scottish surgeon. He was born on the 17th of June 1795 and died on the 25th of March 1860. He is often wrongly named as being the person who coined the term hypnosis. People claim that he was the first to do it in a book he released in 1843. The truth of the matter is that he learned what was known as mesmerism at the time in 1841 after seeing a performance demonstration in Manchester, England, by Charles Le Fontaine, and then went on to study mesmerism, and later in his book in 1843 he used the term hypnosis. However, the truth of the matter is this: he was not the first to coin that term. No, he wasn't. The reality and documented fact is that in actual fact, Baron Étienne Félix de Henin de Cuvillers actually coined the term hypnosis in a book he published in 1819. Some 24 years before James Braid used the term in his book, and also a total of 22 years before James Braid had even seen Charles Le Fontaine do his mesmerism demonstration in Manchester, England. Indeed, in a book published on the 5th of August 2022, the author Scott Allerton, in his book Demystifying Hypnosis, talks about the reality that Baron Étienne Félix de Henin de Cuvillers first coined the term hypnosis in his publication of 1819. However, this book was not the first to reveal such. I covered such in detail in episode 110 of my Hypnosis Week podcast on the 6th of October 2022, which you can find on my Celebrity Hypnotist YouTube channel. The truth is, a far cheaper book to purchase that goes into arguably better detail was published on the 24th of July 2017 and is called Henin de Cuvillers, Creator of Hypnosis by Remy Coote, and is available on Amazon for $5. In terms of what hypnosis truly is, well, I would argue that given that Baron Étienne Félix de Henin de Cuvillers is the first documented person to use the term hypnosis and other hypnosis-related words with the HYP prefix, and he talked about it being the hypnagogic state, the hypnopompic state, in other words, the transitional sleep state. Well, this little booklet I found, published in 1962 by the Arts and Science Research Foundation, Inc., if you can find it, the Arts and Science Research Foundation, Inc., by Rex Delaney, is an excellent little book called Develop Knowledge Unlimited Through Transitional Sleep. And transitional sleep, the moment between going from waking state to delta snory sleep, that moment, the hypnagogic, going to sleep, or in the morning when you awaken from the snory sleep before you're fully in waking state, the hypnopompic state, are the transitional sleep state. Therefore, to the letter of reality, the person who created the word hypnosis, his meaning for it was the transitional sleep state, hypnagogic state, hypnopompic state, which therefore means it is related to sleep. And all the people who teach that James Braid coined the term hypnosis, well, they're wrong. They've not done the research right. So why should you listen to them about anything else? All the people who tell you that hypnosis has nothing to do with sleep, again, they're wrong, because hypnosis, as it was originally intended, is the transitional sleep state, hypnopompic, hypnagogic, call it what you will, but it's what Baron Étienne Félix de Henin de Cuvillers meant it to be as per his publication in 1819. Remember that. If we just take another look at his Wikipedia entry, an interesting note is, I'm going to read you two little bits, okay? In 1819, he became the editor of the Archives of Animal Magnetism. That same year, he was the first to use the prefix HYPN, as in hypnosis, hypnotism, hypnotist, etc., to describe the phenomena of animal magnetism. However, in his book Enlightened Magnetism, published in 1820, he described magnetism in terms of belief and suggestibility. That was Baron Étienne de Félix de Henin de Cuvillers. So in his 1819 book, he meant the HYPN words, hypnosis, hypnotist and such like, to relate to the transitional sleep state. That's mentioned in many of the old books on mesmerism, suggestive therapeutics and such like, available at a discount at the link above or below this video. And then in his 1820 book, he talks about animal magnetism being suggestion and belief. So you could argue, okay, that HYPN words, hypnosis, hypnotist and such, are related to sleep and the transitional sleep state, and that magnetism, mesmerism, such like, is what he decided was suggestion and belief. And in more modern day terms, this side of stuff, I say hypnosis doesn't exist. Well, it doesn't in the way most people understand, because the truth is he meant it to be transitional sleep state. But in terms of the way people wrongly perceive it, it kind of doesn't exist, except in the mind of the believer, because it is pure suggestion and manipulation of belief and expectancy and other psychological states, as fully explained in the Elite Hypnosis Bootcamp at ultimatehypnosiscourse.com. So there you have it. James Braid did not coin the term hypnosis, or indeed the other HYPN prefix terms. The true creator of hypnosis and other HYPN prefix terms was Baron Étienne Félix de Henin de Cuvillers in his 1819 publication.